Good morning, happy Sunday. Yesterday we did some of this bread. I did a little trial run with how it came out and made a grilled cheese sandwich, and it was delicious. The consistency was pretty good. A lot of the time when you make keto breads, they come out like kind of brittle and dry. This was pretty good. It was like toasty. I didn't get a lot of that graininess out of it, so I think it's a pretty good bread. So, and it's easy enough because we just made it in the microwave. So a quick and easy little bread substitute. This Colby Jack one came out actually a little bit more fluffy. I think that's because of the baking soda or baking powder that we ended up putting in there. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this is going on. You will, throughout this whole video, hear my children playing Mario Kart in the background, so I apologize, but kids are kids. So let's see, so what I wanted to do with that bread was kind of make like a Cuban-inspired sandwich. I say inspired because all of my food that I make is heavily bastardized because I'm not a chef. I actually, aside from like Chinese cuisine, I have very little concept of what purist foods from other ethnicities look like. So you'll have to forgive me if I call something a thing and it's not really that thing. It's not that I'm like being pretentious or anything, it's just that I actually don't know. So what we're going for today in our sandwich is basically like it's a toasted sandwich that's going to have mustard and pickles, and it's going to have two kinds of pork on it. We have a slow roasted smoked pork shoulder that we made yesterday, and then I just have some deli ham because it was just there. It's easy. And then this is going to heavily sway us away from the Cubano purist kind of concept, and that's pepper jack cheese. So I don't even know if a Cubano normally gets cheese. I think it does, and I think it's like Swiss or something, or provolone. But I like pepper jack because it tastes awesome, and you can't go bad with pepper jack. So we're gonna do some of that. And we got onions. I think I already mentioned pickles, so we'll dive right in. And I've got my cast iron over here. We're gonna get it nice and warm and see how it turns out. Can't go wrong with like meat and cheese and onions and bread and stuff, so I think we're probably in good shape. So I'm just going to fire this thing up. One of the fun things about cooking, you know, it's kind of fun to watch like all the little fail videos out there, but when you get down to it, as long as like you're using good ingredients and you're getting them properly cooked-ish, you know, just so you don't get sick, even if it looks horrible, usually it still tastes really good, so we'll just see where we get with this. So we're just going to cut up a little pepper. That should be good for both of those. I'm going to make two of these. This onion we're going to slice up really fine. Alright, and that does it for our veggies. And then we'll carve up some of this pork shoulder. So when I look at this thing, pork shoulder has a couple different muscle groups in it. So, and you can see where they're divided by the fat and fascia layers there. So I'm actually going to try and pick a part that has you know, pretty good consistency to it, and that's usually this part right here is one continuous muscle group. So we'll just slice off some pieces of this nice and thin. That actually looks really good. So pork, unless you're going with a pork loin, because so when you're let me back up. So a friend was asking me yesterday with the ribs, you know, how do you keep your fat content up, like on the ribs? And this is the thing, like the only pork cut that doesn't have a lot of fat on it is like the loin. Like if you get a pork loin, usually it's pretty lean. Even pork chops will usually have like a little bit of a fat rind on it. Everything else has a lot of fat in it. So like if you look at this piece of meat here, you can see it's heavily marbled, and it's got like actual just little pockets of fat in here. So usually don't have to worry too much about keeping your pork fatty if you're really looking at your macros on a keto diet, because you do want to have a higher fat concentration than protein concentration in your food. So I looked up pork ribs and they're like 70% calories from fat. I think it's like 48 grams of fat and 32 grams of protein or something like that. So it's actually pretty good over there. My pan's nice and hot. I'm going to turn that way down. So we've got our sliced pork. We're going to be pretty generous with this. I just want to make sure I want to have enough for 2 sandwiches there. And then we'll go ahead and I'm going to slice that a little later. Make sure we got our pickles open and good to go, and then we got our bread. So I'll wash my hands real quick and we'll get going. Okay, so we'll get one of these little slices out. We'll drop some butter in that pan. Hopefully I have butter, I didn't even check. See if that GoPro's getting too hot. Alright. We'll use a spatula. Great thing about using a cast iron is you can use metal implements, which is nice. This pan is ready to receive food. Alright. So this is the mozzarella one. So the mozzarella one came out much more dense than the Colby one. Again, I think because the Colby one has some baking powder in there. So and I just butterflied these to give me 2 pieces per slice. So, and then I think what we'll do is we'll put down our deli ham first. And actually, you know what I really should have done is put some mustard on here. Always shake your mustard or you'll just get mustard juice. A little bit of mustard on bottom. Put some of this deli ham down. Okay, good there. And then we'll put down our roast pork. I'm gonna have to cut one more piece for this. Maybe not. Yeah, let's do. Just cut one more piece. Okay, put down these onions. Okay, we got some peppers we'll throw on there. Alright, and then we're going to put some cheese down. I'm actually going to grate this on to see if it helps it melt down quicker. If you get cheese falling into your pan, you can see it falling in the pan there. Don't worry about it. That turns into crispy goodness. Alright, we've got a fair amount of cheese on there. Put our top loaf on and give it a press. So Cubano is traditionally pressed, and that's because they're using like big fluffy loaves. Our loaves are not big and fluffy, so we'll still press on them a little bit, but I'm not going to worry too much about getting them really tight and compressed. So we'll let that roll for a little bit, and we'll come back and see how. All right, everything's off the pan. Toasted up really nice, good color. Can't tell if the cheese melted in there or not. It's always a question. I think it did. Looks like the cheese is all melty, and I'm looking forward to digging into this. So, but yeah, quick and easy. I think total time was maybe 15 minutes. So something you should definitely try and enjoy.